So now I'll officially welcome you to our May 24-25 President Forum. Thanks all for taking time out of your day. I know we spent a lot of time together over the weekend, many of us. So thanks for spending a little more time this evening to catch up with each other and share where we are on our planning for our clubs and ask each other questions and share ideas with each other. I have, well, I guess first I'd like to just ask you a question. For those of you who were at the district conference, what feedback do you have? What did you like or not like?
I'll start it off.
Yeah, Jay.
Go for
I
it.
did like the meeting room and that venue was very nice. Excuse me. I like the format of the TED type talk as opposed to just standing at the podium. I thought that was livelier. Of course, we got a less expensive hotel, so the rooms left a bit to be desired. But I thought the acoustics were very good, and the audio and the video was very good. So and the food was good. So that part is a very good positive of it. And it's always nice to get together with people besides Zoom. Besides that 1 inch square.
Yeah. Caroline, were you raising your hand for this or something else?
No, I was trying to figure out, I thoroughly agree with Eva Gold. It was a good conference, but that room was nuts for cold. And then you stepped outside and it was cold.
Yeah.
Now you can't control whether we can control thermostats.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good program. I just think that the Saturday should be the day when the outgoing people are recognized and honored. And then Sunday is the new beginning. And maybe the TED Talks don't all need to be first, except for you. But because we could have gotten some business done and then moved on into the TED Talks. But they're not a bad thing. It's just that we listen to people talk when we could have been celebrating.
Okay.
I'm out.
Yeah. Anybody else have some feedback you want to share?
Yeah, I really appreciated the sharing from the Maui Club, the heart-wrenching story of what it was like to actually be there. Took a lot to share, as well as Kathleen Merriam's story and just all the personal stories. That it was really, I think, more impactful having those personal stories being shared, but also very brave of the people that did share them. And I agree, the TED Talk format, where people are walking around and kind of briefing in that style, was a good format to use. Over.
Okay. Al, I see your hand up. Sorry.
I wanted to compliment our MC. I thought Rick did a fantastic job and good choice.
Okay. I'll be sure to pass that along personally.
I second that. He did an amazing job, and he was funny, he was quick, and he rolled with it, and he just kept it going. And you could hear him, and he could articulate everything. It was great. So yes, please let him know we were very happy with him as MC.
Okay. David? Oh, you're on mute, David.
It's unfortunate in a way that I was unable to come Friday or Saturday because of other commitments. But when I did come Sunday, it felt like it was just about closing pretty much. And there was the luncheon, and that was about it. It would be good if, I really think it should be a 3-day event, and that something of substance should be done Sunday that feels like there's a presentation of some sort. It felt a little kind of after the fact. I felt like I was coming in after it was closed. They didn't even give me a name tag. You know, they said by the time I got there, they said, "Oh, we've turned in all the name tags already." I didn't even need a name tag for lunch, so it was kind of felt like that day didn't exist, even though that was the only day I could come. So
Okay,
other than that, I thought Rick did a great job. That the flow was beautiful. That all that was great. So
great. Anybody else? Anything? Okay. Well, thanks. I just wanted to collect some immediate feedback because that will help us as we plan next year's district conference. If you didn't already hear, if you weren't there yesterday, next year we'll be back on Oahu at the Ala Moana Hotel, and the dates are May 30th through June 1st, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we're at this point taking signups with your email address. The first 125 people to sign up will get a $25 gift card to the Ala Moana Shopping Center. And on July 1st, you will get an email with a link to make your payment for the district conference. Marian?
Ted, for your information, 60 people signed up over the weekend for Discon 25.
Yay. Yeah. So you still have room to sign up and be in that first 125. Okay, so that's district conference. A few of you have asked me about district governor official visits, and I have asked each of the assistant governors to schedule the visits for their area, and I've given them a target week for doing that. But let me just share that with you here for a minute. You should be seeing a list here by area. Hopefully starting with Maui, then Hawaii East. That would be the week of August 5th. Waikiki area, August 12th. Hawaii West area, August 18th. Then there's a couple weeks there that we won't do any DG visits. Oahu East, the week of September 16. The Oahu downtown area, September 23rd week. There will be a District 5280 group coming from the Los Angeles area to do some projects on Maui the week of September 30th. So then we'll reconvene with Oahu Central Clubs the week of October 14th, Oahu West Clubs the week of October 21, and the Kauai Clubs the week of November 4. So if you haven't heard from your assistant governor yet, you will be hearing from them. And it's up to you guys how you want to organize this. If you want me to come to each club individually, that's fine. If you want me to meet with your board separately from your club or in addition to your club, that's also fine. If you want to group together and have 2, 3, 4, however many clubs meet together, that's also fine. You guys decide what works best for you. I'll say a few words, but most of the time I hope we'll have a dialogue. So no need for me to have a setup to show you slides and talk at you. Caroline?
That is the week of our fundraiser.
Okay.
So just plan on coming to the party and we'll let you speak.
Okay.
But it's wine tasting, Carpe Vino, and so seize the wine. But you can be a part of the program and you can also have a glass of wine or 4. So.
Okay, that sounds good. And I realize there may be conflicts with this first proposed schedule. So if a week really isn't going to work for an area, if the AGs will just tell me that, we'll try to figure out a way to swap weeks or add a week. I know there may be a conflict or an exception that we need to deal with. So any other questions about DG visits and how that's going to work?
Ted, you have Kauai as a general thing. Are you meeting with all the clubs? I'm confused about that.
Yeah, so we'll do each area in a week. So November 4th would be the Kauai week. I can come to each club individually.
I see.
Or if you want to do more than one club together, that's fine. And I've asked David Lister to be the coordinator for
I
scheduling
got it.
Hawaii clubs.
Wasn't sure if you were going to talk to them all on November 4th and just run around from place to place like a maniac. Or...
Oh no, those are week beginning dates.
I got it. Okay, we can do it.
I'm available to spend the whole week in each.
I'll make sure that works for our Thursday if you can make that at noon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and luckily, the work that I do, as long as I have a computer, I can do it anywhere. So that's not
okay.
Kara,
are you planning to do it in person? Will you come to our meeting in person?
Oh yeah, I'll come in person.
Great. Okay, yeah. I'll make sure that happens.
Yeah, I'll come to all of you in person.
Great.
Yeah, that's one of my responsibilities during the district governor year, is to do an official visit with each of your clubs. Kara, I see your hand.
Yeah, so just again, you had said there's not going to be needing for slides. Is it a kind of open forum, meet and greet type of event for you?
Well, I will have a set of questions that I will want to ask you guys and get your feedback. And then also, of course, time for you guys to ask me questions if you have questions. And I'll have some opening remarks, but I won't need to show any slides.
Okay. Thank you.
Tina.
Hi, Ted. I noticed there's no AG assigned for Central Oahu. Just wondered if that's going to be filled in.
It will be. It's still, unfortunately, work in progress.
Okay.
But
thank you.
There will be.
Okay. Thanks.
I'll let you know as soon as I do.
Okay. Got it.
And in the meantime, if you have any questions come up, just come to me directly until we have an AG in place.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments about DG visits?
I got to know Tina during PET, so Tina, feel free to reach out to me as well. Feel free to reach out to me. Okay.
Oh, thank you, Conrad. Yeah. Yeah, we're all here to help each other. Okay, that's DG visits. Just another reminder that district grant applications are due on June 15th. Hopefully you already had that in your to-do list from the other communications about that. The information and the forms are all on the district webpage, the District Foundation webpage. Conrad, if you might be so kind, perhaps you could put a link in our chat for that.
I'm sorry, for which one?
For the district grants on the foundation page. So that has the chart with the allocation of funds for your club, and then all the forms that need to go in on June 15th. And if there's any questions about that, certainly AGs can help, or contact our foundation committee. Chair is Dave Mosdrin, and we'll find somebody to help. And then quite a number of you have also asked me to come do an induction with your club or with a group of clubs. So I will just send out my calendar to everybody just to reconfirm with everybody that I have the right thing on the calendar for the right date and that you know that I am confirmed for that. So expect that in the next couple days. Okay, those are a few housekeeping things. And then I had proposed a few things to check in with each other about this evening, and then we'll open it up to any other things that you want to talk about or questions that you want to ask the group. So first was just to check in with each other about how are we doing with the 90-day checklist? Are you running into obstacles or problems on anything? Questions about how to do any of it or how others are doing it? Kara?
I didn't get that email.
Okay.
Is it on the webpage? I probably, yeah, I looked for it when you mentioned it over the weekend and went, oh my gosh, I don't know what he's talking about. So I looked for yours and I never found it.
Okay.
Is it on the District 5000 webpage?
I don't know if I posted it on the president webpage, but we should probably do that. Conrad, could you help me get it up there? Oh,
Yes,
thank
yeah,
you.
you're talking about the 90-day checklist.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
on the president-elect's resource page.
It is. Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
And
It
I
is
also
right
just put a screenshot in the chat.
Thank you, Susan. Yeah. Kara, do you know how to get to the president-elect webpage?
Yeah, let me go ahead. I'm on my other phone. Let me pull it up the webpage and let me just go under. Hold on, let me see.
And since some of you are just entering year 2 of your term, I hesitate to keep calling you president-elects and to say we're the 24-25 presidents.
Okay, so I'm under the preparing for Rotary Year as club president, and that's where I got the link for today. And you said that link is on here somewhere? Okay, 90-day, all right, right here. Has a video. Is there a form link on here? Slides from the.
It's just the list. It's not a.
Yeah, so Kara, right below the video, there's a PowerPoint. That's the checklist.
Yeah.
Got it.
I have a question for Kara, if you're all set. I don't want to interrupt you or anything.
No,
Okay.
got it.
What have other clubs done in regards to changing of bylaws? Because we did ours a few years back, less than 5, but before I was a member of the club. And they're adequate, but there's a couple things, in terms of meetings and stuff like that, we don't necessarily adhere to, but going through the process of rewriting bylaws every year, I don't know if that makes sense because we're still in kind of dynamic times given, everything that's happened in the last 3 or 4 years. So just curious what others have done with their clubs.
Caroline, do you have an answer for that?
I do. I have 2 answers. One is a nonprofit professional. Bylaws should be reviewed every 5 years, just because. Then as a Rotary president, when we shifted to Zoom and we shifted to email notices and email voting, we realized that we had to update our bylaws, because the bylaws had said would be notified by mail by da 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 da, and we weren't doing that. We really weren't. And so, Mr. Roberts of Robert's Rules of Order would have been swirling in his grave. And so as a nonprofit, you should do it anyway. And even if we aren't a 501c3, we're a nonprofit, and it covers our butt if anybody ever does look at us, that we have at least had a review. Now, it can be 3 people with a bottle of good wine, but just common nonprofit practice is to review them at least every 5 years. And then also with all the changes from COVID, there's things nobody's doing that's in the bylaws and so you need to review your bylaws because a lot of them don't have the modern technology in them. And this is something I'm seeing as a mentor and sponsor for new nonprofit people. And Rotary has this wonderful bylaw thing. Go and see their current bylaw, international, and they've got the verbiage. And this was important for us. They've got the verbiage that you can highlight, copy, click, and paste. It's just lovely. So that would be my advice.
Thank you.
Did I see another hand up?
Yeah,
Marion?
John, we just revised our bylaws just a couple of months ago. And I can help you.
Okay, thanks, Marion. I appreciate it. I'll reach out. You too, Caroline. So
Yeah, great. I think Caroline makes a very good point that many of our electronic communications were not foreseen in our bylaws. So if they haven't been updated in a while, that needs to happen. And check the way processes are outlined in your bylaws. Normally, you don't have to refer to your bylaws as long as you're following them and everybody's happy. But if you run into a situation where somebody thinks something should have been done a different way, the bylaws are the document
Thanks,
that
Henny.
you've all agreed together is how you're going to do things and how you're going to work together. So you want to make sure that everybody has been consulted, that they've been notified, that you've gone through an official vote to amend your bylaws so that everybody knows what they are and is agreeing to follow those processes and procedures. Okay, anything else on bylaws? Calvin?
Actually, not bylaws.
Okay,
So when
different
you,
topic. Good.
so at the table over the weekend, some questions were wondering about the awards. Is there going to be any awards for this current year after June 30th? And what's the plan for our new year?
Yes. Thank you for asking that, actually. I will say I think there was room for improvement in the communication around club awards for this year. That things haven't necessarily been totally clear. But Mark's intention was to have the awards go through the complete year. So the deadline is June 30th. And then we'll have some kind of awards ceremony in the next Rotary year. It may be on Zoom, it may be hybrid. I haven't heard that he's come up with the exact plan for that just yet. But there will be a recognition and some kind of awards ceremony. But this gives us the opportunity then to see the full year and then to have a separate recognition from the district conference. Now, I do have on my to-do list that I do in the next few weeks want to go ahead and get the club award criteria out to all of you so that you have that at least a month in advance of the start of the year. And I'll try to do it as quickly as I can now. But that's my objective, is that you have it well before the start of the year so you know what to expect. The Rotary Citation Award is being renamed for next year, so you may see it referred to as Rotary Club of Excellence Award, but it's still based on if you select at least 50% of the goals in Rotary Club Central and then achieve 50% of the goals. Well, I didn't say that clearly either. It's you select and achieve 50% of the goals in Rotary Club Central. And then you are automatically awarded the Rotary Club of Excellence Award. But we'll still have district awards, and I'll get you the criteria for the coming year in the next couple weeks. Kara, I'm sorry, Kara, Galvin, did that answer your question?
Do you have any thoughts of whether you're gonna run it till June 30th or just to our district convention?
Yeah, my current thinking is that we'll run it through June 30th. Now I've said to a couple people, this is a little bit of an experiment, what we're trying this year with Mark. So I'm gonna watch how this experiment goes, and if we need to make some modification, we will. But that's the current plan.
Okay, yeah, it goes back to when I first joined my first year and looked at the criteria and said, oh, well, you mean we have to turn it in before the year is over?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we for quite a few years now, we've been basically cutting off the year on April 1st.
Right.
And telling that we weren't going to do anything else the rest of the year.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Kara, you had something else?
Yes, it's regarding the Club of Excellence Award. When does this all have to be done? The same time, June 30th, or is this before?
Yes. Yeah, that's also full year.
Okay.
So
thank you.
And that's and that happens because you update your goals in Rotary Club Central, and then you go into Rotary Club Central and mark when you have achieved those goals.
Okay, thank you.
So that happens at the Rotary level, and then we'll have our normal district awards. But good question. Thank you for bringing that up. I should have had that on my list. Anything else with regard to 90-day checklist items that you want to ask each other?
What does I printed it up. Continuity / PE.
Yeah, so continuity is
Continuity?
a buzzword for us in Rotary now. And you'll hear this from our most senior leaders. Our Rotary International presidents will often talk about continuity. Our RI director talks about continuity. We talk about that now with our DG line about having continuity, meaning that we are discussing and collaborating with each other as a team so that we have more initiatives, goals, procedures that go beyond just a one-year time frame. So in the past, as we rotated through different offices, you had a one-year term, you maybe did something, and then the next person came in and they did something completely different, or they stopped what the previous person had done. We're trying to make that more seamless and continuous, that some things are going to last more than 1 year, and that we all agree together to make that happen. That's also being pushed down to the club president level. And if you haven't heard from her already, you're going to hear from Nancy Cabral about who is your successor, because she'll be the DGE next year and
Is
responsible.
that before or after Singapore?
It'll probably be before, during, and after.
I thought that's all she talked about was Singapore.
Yeah.
I didn't know if she knew any other words.
Yeah.
Well, in all fairness, Ronnie, she's been given the job of organizing District 5000 for that.
Yeah, that is one of her.
It's all good.
Oh yeah, no,
I enjoyed it.
in good fun. Yeah, exactly. It was, yeah, there's no.
So at the club level, a best practice is if we have you as the president, you have the person who's going to succeed you, who's the president-elect, and then you have the person who will follow them, who is your president nominee. So that you have the same kind of succession planning in the club, and that you have some teamwork and collaboration to talk about the future of the club and what are initiatives that you want to work on that you think may take more than 1 year in your club, and have goals that you as a team agree that you want to help influence and guide your club on. So you'll be hearing more from Nancy, if you haven't already, about that succession planning and having both your PE and your president nominee. Does that help explain that?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Okay, any other checklist related questions we haven't covered? Everybody making some progress on your checklist?
I'm done.
Yay. Yay. Okay. The next thing I thought we might spend a little time this evening is on club meetings. And of course, as we've gone through our training, you know that Stephanie Yurchik likes to use the word irresistible with regard to our club experience. And part of our club experience is our meetings and our service projects. So I thought maybe we could spend a few minutes together sharing your thoughts, your ideas, best practices in your club. How are you thinking you're going to make your club meetings and projects irresistible in the coming year? Or if they already are, tell us why they already are. Tina, did you have something?
I can share something. So
Yeah.
Some of the ways I'm planning to make it more irresistible is to have more social events, such as karaoke and maybe a sunset sail event. Having games during the meeting like Rotary Jeopardy. And I came up with this idea of a game. I have this little ball that's shaped like a globe, and to throw it at different members and say, okay, where in the world have you been? You know, where have you visited? What kind of food have you had around the world that you really enjoyed? It's kind of a way to get members to open up and interact with each other, that kind of thing. And maybe recognizing members who do something really good for the club during a project, or something else. And as far as expanding the reach, including our interact clubs, and maybe having them come up with a project that they would like our support on.
Yeah, good ideas.
So that's all I have.
Caroline.
Am I on mute? I don't see. Okay.
Yeah,
One thing that I've been doing, I started after I came back from pets, but when somebody complains that there's not speakers they're interested in, I say, could you please bring one then? Because I'm doing the best I can, but I'm not getting it. Though we had an incredible impromptu May Day celebration on May Day, but you're the president, and my club is small. I don't have people to delegate to. But we've had some really incredible speakers that I have had nothing to do with. So if somebody says anything to you, make them responsible. Scary as crazy.
Okay, so having some fun activities, recognizing people, including your interactors, getting other people to take responsibility for recruiting speakers or other activities. What else are we doing to make our clubs irresistible, our club meetings and projects? Kara?
Okay, so I put together a cute little coffee center for our group. And it has all the different flavors, and I'm bringing my Keurig, and I'm going to, and I've been doing it the last 2 meetings. I've been making home baked goods to go with the coffee. So we'll
Oh.
try that. That's how many meetings. But the second meeting of every month, we're going to showcase, and I asked my members, and they're kind of interested. And it's more like you're the speaker, you're 20 minutes. You tell us all about your accolades, what it was like growing up. It's a free reign, open topic. If you have trophies you want to bring it. This is your time to shine. And we're bringing on, we have like 3 more new members coming in, and we have three new members. So this way we can get to know each other a little better. So it's out on our second meeting. We're going to showcase a member.
Mhm. Member showcase.
Good idea.
Yeah, great. What other ideas do we have?
Well, I have a question more than an idea. So
Sure.
I would like to know from this consortium of 20 people, who has pulled their club for irresistible meeting ideas? And if you have, what kind of suggestions have you gotten?
You mean like a survey? I did my survey. Let me see.
Yeah, well, I think to me, irresistible is a very high standard. It's also very subjective, but I enjoyed some of the ideas. I just wondered if people have gotten suggestions from members too.
So Carrie, you did do your member survey.
I did.
How
And
about-
so certain things like, what would you, if you have a favorite, if you have something that you've always wanted to do project, please list it. And some people did. And some people said, no, I'm good with anything. And 2 or 3 members says they would like to have more membership recognition. So I asked them about their birthdays, what kind of what's their favorite color, and their favorite, like a food or snack. And I was going to do something along the lines with their birthday project. So we're already making leis for them, and I'm actually going to give them a little flower, kind of like a potted succulent. And then now I'm going to add whatever they put down as their favorite something. So birthday recognition was on there, and what kind of project that you've really wanting to do, let's do it this year.
Mhm.
Yeah. Can kind of get them involved, because, it's the whole part about the engagement, right? So I figured
Right.
if you're interested in something, let's do it. So we did have a calendar meeting last week, and we got 6 new ideas. And so what the members are going to do is, I said, write it up and present it at the next meeting. So we have 3 meetings that they're going to present it. And if it's a go, it's a go. If it needs to be tabled for a few months, then we'll table it. But I want people to come up with their own ideas. Because right now, I just counted, we have 30 events already on the book starting July 1st.
Wow, great.
Yeah. I got this great sunscreen story. I mean, I've been telling people one by one, but it's a collab between Kakua Sun Care, and how that company donated $30,000 worth of sunscreen. And we are going to educate and bring awareness about the harmful effects of non-reef friendly chemicals. And we're handing it out on the beaches, Waikiki, Kailua, and North Shore. So if any of your clubs want to join us, it's a 10 o'clock to about 1 o'clock once a month on a Saturday. And we have a QR code and a web page where they can pull up the information. But we're just going to do that. Just kind of interact with people and wear our Rotary shirt.
Mhm. And Kara, how did you do your member survey?
I just made it up. I went on Canva and just made it up, and then emailed it to everybody. And at the meeting, I had paper, excuse me, a paper one. And some people filled it out right there. Because see, I'm trying to, and one of the questions was, how would you like to be communicated? And I said, email, voicemail, telephone, whatever it is, write it down. And so I'm going to meet everyone's needs, because, we only have 21 client members. If they say text, I will text the information. If they want an email, I'll do email. My thing is I'm here to serve my members and I want to be sure that everyone is communicated correctly.
Yeah. So John did put a message in the chat. If maybe you or anyone else would be willing to share your member survey with the rest of the group.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm on
I
my
would
phone
ask
and
out loud, but I got my dogs going nuts for things. That's why I'm
Ah.
typing.
yeah, I can go ahead and give you my email. You know what? I'm having I'm on my phone and I dropped my phone in Kauai, so it's not working. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to get a new one, but I can't pull up my menu. So it's the radicalholly@gmail. If you just want to send me a quick email and I will send you a copy of my survey. The radicalholly@gmail.
Great. Wendy, I see your hand, but let me just ask before I turn to you, has anybody else done your member survey yet? That's on the call, Caroline?
I did it by sending it by text and found out that we're not doing group emails anymore and we're not doing group texts. Because we have some senior members of the club that reply all way too often. And so to go around that, there is a way that, I'm sorry, this was new to me, that you can send an email to a whole lot of people individually or a text individually. And so if somebody tries to email everybody else with their idea, it doesn't happen. Technology, I think, is incredible. The survey, I texted to everybody. Out of 16 members, I've gotten 14 replies. I'm not really sure of the other two, and I'll track them down. Largely, I also have 4 new service projects and 7 new speakers. So as a gift to a new president, because in July I'll be a new president, this is seriously awesome. And they were willing to come forward and share. We've had a couple rocky years, and just the support I'm getting from my members is, yeah, we're going to keep on. We're going to survive. I'm just thrilled. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah. And Susan, I see you shared yours in our chat. Is that correct? Would you want to comment on?
I went ahead and copied the one that we put together. It's just a Google form, and I just sent the link to people to fill out the Google form. I think if I could have spent some time coming up with a better platform to do better analytics, I would have. But this is fine. It got enough information. Unfortunately, it's not consistent information or any kind of consensus. So I don't think it's going to be the only tool I'm going to ask for feedback. I think I'm going to have to do some kind of like individual discussions with people, as well as so this particular one I did as an anonymous, but I think I'm going to also have to ask some non-anonymous questions specifically about the communication. Right now we use way too many things that if you read the example I sent, all of those things listed are things that we currently have sorted out except for the website. Everything else is stuff we do, and it's a lot. So I was hoping to be able to contract like 1 or maybe 2, but it doesn't seem like that's kind of going the way I was hoping. But yeah, we'll see.
Great. Thank you for sharing. Now let me come back. Wendy had her hand up before. Wendy.
It's okay. I really want to hear from the presidents. I actually love this because there's so many different ways to do surveys nowadays, and some people love technology and some people don't. And so you're trying to capture all your members. So I love hearing the feedback and the input. So thank you guys so much. The one thing I wanted to bring up and just offer is there's something that Rotary does as well. It's called club visioning, where you can have, and Al and I are certified in this, and we can do this in virtual or in person, where you have somebody come to your club and work with you on your club strengths, weaknesses, the community strengths and weaknesses, and you start putting together like goals for the club, and then the club members vote on them. And then it kind of helps the president set up a direction for the club, especially if you're not sure what the club wants to do, or and what's really great about it is because the members are suggesting it, you're actually hearing from your club members, and it really makes it a lot easier to set certain goals and projects and fundraisers. So if anyone is interested in doing any club visioning, it is available virtually and in person. Just let myself or Awilin know, and we'd be more than happy to help you.
Great, thank you. Any other ideas about engaging your members? You're currently doing a survey, but what else are you thinking about, Jay?
Okay. I've been fortunate this year. We've had very good programs. It's a former president who's been doing the programs. We meet right now the first three weeks of the month in person. And the fourth one, we either do a Pauhana or a Rotary on the Road. And on the Rotary on the Road, if we have space, we try to invite other people there. What I did after a couple of weeks ago, I have a president who has been not doing much, past president. And I said to him, I said, you're doing a Rotary Minute every meeting, whatever you decide. Sometimes, but it's hard to keep him at a minute, but it's pretty close. He's trying to keep it at a minute. It's only been 2 weeks so far. The first one was on the Rotarian, the magazine, and the second one was on Interact with numbers and all. So it lets the other members, if they remember, know about Rotary, if they don't know about it, or reminds them about it, which is a big thing. You forget a lot of things, we get bombarded, and so that seems to be pretty good. I mean, we only have 28 members, and we've been getting about 20 at our meetings. So I think percentage-wise, and we have some members that are only here part of the year. So I think I'm doing pretty good. Because we do have quite a few members, and that are snowbirds.
Any other thoughts about engaging your members? I don't know on this call, but I have heard of clubs that have a committee. That might be the Hilo Club. Chelsea's not. Oh, there's Chelsea. I think it's the Hilo Club. If they don't see or hear from a member for a few months, they go on a list that somebody makes a phone call out to them to check on them.
Yeah, we do some active membership checkup, and that's one of the things that we really want to focus going forward, especially for retention. So yeah, we have a really solid membership committee that does that stuff, and we get updates on that on all of our board meetings. So yeah, I highly encourage that.
Yeah, so if you got somebody who you're not sure they're still engaged, give them a call and let them know you care, you missed them, what's going on with them. There may be a reason, just a reason they haven't been able to come, but it may be that they haven't found what they want to work on. Wendy.
It's not actually for me. I wanted to see if Tom was here because they started this really cool thing called Foodies Unite or something. And it was really cool because every month they would have like a certain type of food, and they have a specialty person make the food, and they get people together and their own club members and potential new members. And it was kind of like a way to bond to get people. So I don't know if he wants to speak about it more, but I thought it was really cool, something they were doing in Oahu. And I'm a foodie myself, so I was jealous every time I was seeing all the stuff they were posting because I couldn't make it there.
Yeah, hi, aloha. Yeah. So we call it indulgent foodies, and the basic idea is to indulge in good food and food experiences. We started doing it on a monthly basis. However, it's a lot of work and organization. But yes, so we get, every event we have a particular cuisine, and the idea is the person actually cooks the food in front of you, so you get to learn how to make it as well as taste it. the good thing about it is a lot of people outside Rotary want to come and attend it, and that's really the idea, that you want more members, and this is really being done not just for our club, but you know, the idea is that lots of other clubs participate. So yeah, it's the response has been very positive. The last one we had was I think Moroccan. Ayman and his wife cooked some Moroccan food, and prior to that we did Japanese. And Kazu used to be a sushi chef, so he made, you know, all the good stuff. So some of you may have attended that, but that's the idea. And now we're going to do it on a quarterly basis. And actually, the first one, I think Conrad wasn't the first one, the Vietnamese, where you had hosted it. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Where do you do it, and do you charge for it?
Yes. So we charge basically to cover the costs, and the price varies between $30 to $50 per person. And then we host it at it's anyone's condo, right? So, and typically the attraction is if you have good parking, then a lot of people come, other than the food, of course, but yeah.
So you must have some pretty good cooks. I'd be afraid
Yeah,
we'd
I
kill
think so,
somebody.
yes. Yes, and you know, we don't make a lot of items. We make a few items, and I think that's also the kind of key to success. You know, 3 or 4 items or 3 items, and then the other thing is people bring their own beverage. So you know, that's really the mantra, if you will.
Do you do it at lunch or dinner?
We do it late afternoon typically on a Saturday. So around 3 o'clock. And we again, you know, ask people what would work best for them. And so if you're on Facebook, the group's called Indulgent Foodies. And then you'll see our, you know, the upcoming events.
Yep.
So,
So
Rajiv, would you like to add something?
No, I think you summed it up. I think this idea was formed out of first the concept of creating a Rotary International Fellowship, and I think that's also a direction that this group is trying to take it. So there's obviously some steps that you need to legitimize it as a Rotary Fellowship. Hence the reason why we are not calling it a foodie fellowship. And that's the reason why we have the Indulgent Foodie Group as the name right now.
yeah, so I would remind everybody, think about not getting stuck in a rut. That part of the reason we come to Rotary is to have fun. So I know when I was the club president, I did have sort of a set flow to the meeting, but I always had a segment of the meeting that I tried to mix things up. One week we would have a trivia contest, another week we might do some other kind of contest. We might have a drawing. We might have a club member talk, so that it's not just the same old thing of we come, we recite, we do the pledge, we do the 4-way test, we have a speaker, we go home. Mix it up, do some different things, do some things outside of the club meeting. These are all good ideas. Ronnie.
I'm curious, Ted, what percentage of the clubs in the district are still doing Zoom or hybrid meetings?
I only have anecdotal evidence, but my anecdotal evidence is quite a significant number are doing hybrid meetings still. Jay, I saw your hand.
I was answering, we do a hybrid meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many do it sort of internally versus hiring people?
You mean running the meeting?
Cats is all
No, we can't hire people to run the meeting date. No,
No, I mean the technical aspects of running a
yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've done our own, we Rotary, and we've been doing that from the very beginning for 10 years now.
Yeah, if you're not familiar, CATS, We Rotary Club of International Peace has members all over the country, and
that's cool.
they have always met online.
That's cool. Well, I run really high-tech hybrid meetings, but after 2 years of doing that, I decided I actually wanted to go to a Rotary meeting. So when you get to the meeting and you spend half an hour setting up and then you run the stuff and then a half hour packing up, you don't get to do much fellowship. But
Yeah, and we find that only 1 or 2 people hook into the Zoom.
Yeah.
So it seems like a tremendous waste of effort. Do other people find that a lot of people hook into the Zoom from remote?
In this is the Rotary Club of Pearl Harbor. We only had like 1 or 2 people, and our board just voted to do away with Zoom and to encourage members to come in person. And some of them have been coming. So
Caroline, I see your hand too.
Conversely, I'm sorry, Tina. Conversely, in our club, we have so many members that work past our meeting time that they will turn on the meeting and contribute and participate and feel like part of it. And so therefore for us, definitely the hybrid will continue. And it's not for the stay-at-homes like some other clubs. It's for the people that are still at work. And and they're, in my club at least, that's a group, they're the ones that show up for service projects. They have trouble making the meetings. But now that we're in a bar that has actual real liquor, more of them are showing up in person, making the time. We're a transition club, but hybrid has been huge, and we're not doing away with it anytime soon. Our meeting on Wednesday has the speaker, an international speaker from the Rotary speakers list. And that's an incredible resource. You don't have a speaker because they caught COVID. Go on the list and see who wants to talk to Hawai'i at 11 o'clock at night.
Where do you find that list?
Rotary International. President's Resources.
Marianne, is your club still doing hybrid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Chelsea and Beverly, yours still doing hybrid?
Yes, that is correct, Ted. They are. And I agree. We have about 3 people off island that love to attend those meetings. And so they put it together for those 3 people. And then maybe a couple of more who didn't make the meeting, maybe on there, probably about 5, 6. So, yeah.
But it's part of our being flexible and adapting to how people can engage with us.
I think we're going to try to get back to all in person this coming year. But when we've done hybrid, it's either an in-person meeting event or it's an online event. It's not like we try to have a bunch of people in one room and then set up a Zoom bridge too. We tried that a couple of times and it's a nightmare. So it's, right now our schedule is we'll do one meeting in person and one meeting virtual each month.
Yeah,
That works
that's
pretty good.
similar to what my club chose to do. We have one Zoom meeting and we have one in-person meeting. We actually don't try to do hybrid, but we have some of each type. Okay, I see we've come to the end of our scheduled time. I hope you found this a worthwhile discussion this evening to get some ideas and compare notes with each other. if you have any suggestions for our next forum in June, feel free to send them over to me. In June, our next forum is scheduled for June 10th at 6:30 p.m. So check your calendars that you have June 10th. And then, as we said at the start of the meeting, in July, we'll shift to the first Monday of the month instead of the second.
Hey, Ted, can you continue to put reminders in that group chat? That was super helpful. And
Yeah.
then I also have a question when everybody drops off, unless other people need to hear this. What is DD, I believe, F on the list of how much we're supposed to be qualifying for the annual district grant?
So DDF is one of many of our Rotary acronyms that stands for District Designated Funds. So that chart is the amount of district designated funds that are allocated to your club to do a project.
Okay, and what's the 20%, 50%? What's that part about?
So-
Just like doing the math of how much of the total would be 20% and 50%?
Yeah, and some of so there's a certain number of dollars that are available that you do not have to do any matching for. And then there's another proportion that you have to match with cash from your club in order to use those dollars. And overall, 50% gets allocated in global grants and 50% in district designated fund grants. And Susan, we can, if you have specific questions about the chart, we can sit down and go through that
Okay.
in more detail. I don't have the chart in
Yeah.
front of me, so I'm kind of giving you.
Yeah, I had it.
Recollection.
I didn't know what DDF stood for, and then I didn't know why they're. Oh, wait a minute. Did I just get muted?
No, we hear you.
I didn't know why they were listed as the 20% and the 50%, and it wasn't very straightforward to me.
Yeah, it's I will say I went through it probably 3 years before I finally understood it.
Okay.
So
cool.
But we've got plenty of people to help you figure it out.
Okay.
So just follow up with me if you still have questions, and we'll get somebody to help you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Any other final questions, thoughts for this evening?
Well, I'm trying to find this president resources. So Kat sent me a file that's says it's file not found, and someone else said Rotary International Presidential Resources under Club Resources, but I don't see it there.
Go to the chat. We're on 11:35 p.m. There you'll find many resources for speakers, and
Where?
you can
I'm sorry, where?
go to at the chat. Well, my time is 11:35 at night, so for you it'd be 7:35. You'll see a link there, and if you scroll down a bit, you'll be able to download that file that I put in there as a PDF. Does that make sense?
You might have
Yes,
to be logged into myrotary.org before you could see it. So maybe if you log into there first and then click her link, you might be able to see it then.
Yeah, if we just click the link, we're getting.
I get a file
generic
cannot be
search
accessed.
page. Yeah.
Right. So if you go to the link after Ronnie says Mahalo Cat, and then the next one down, if you click on that, you should, if you're in My Rotary, you should be
Yeah,
able
that just takes me to the general search. So I typed in speakers and I didn't get much. I'm on
Right.
that screen. What should I search for?
So the one to look for,
Hmm.
I've closed that already. One moment. speakers.
Thank you for your patience.
Just as a point of information, what I do is I open up a Word document. So when I want to get these links, I just copy and paste it to a Word document. So when we're offline, I have them all on a sheet of paper.
It's called the Rotary Foundation Centennial Speakers Bureau.
Okay, I saw that. I
That's-
thought it would be something different than the foundation. Okay. Thank you, dear.
Mhm.
Okay. Super. And if you have other resources that you want to share with others or questions you want to ask, of course, between these forum meetings, we also have our WhatsApp group chat. So feel free to post questions or share things there as well.
How do I get
so
on
I'm-
that, Ted?
Pardon me?
How do I get on the WhatsApp?
Well, you should have gotten an invitation. I'll follow up with you after this, Ron, and make sure you get on. Okay, so I want to be mindful of our time because we've run over time for this evening. But thank you all for taking the time out of your day to do this. And if you have any feedback of things that you want to do differently, you want to cover other topics, please let me know. And we'll see you, some of you in Singapore. And if not in Singapore, see you again on here June 10th.
See you all later. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Thanks, Ted.
Take care.
Thanks, Ted.